In this video, I'll be sharing some underrated meals you must try out if you're lean bulking. Meal 1, breakfast. So the calories on this is roughly 1,150 to 1,300 calories. But before I jump into telling you what it is and how I make it and all that good stuff, I wanted to talk about how I found it. So I was walking in the store and I was looking for eggs, one of the key ingredients. Then I saw the breakfast section. I walked past it, but then I was like, hold up a minute. So I went right back to it and took a look and was surprised at how bad the breakfast options were. All the options in the breakfast section were super high in carbs and lower in protein and fat, which is a no-go if you're trying to lean bulk. Unless you're trying to dirty bulk, which I highly don't recommend. But if you'd like to start your day with a good lean meal to gain muscle, then go with something like this. A good meal to start with is something that's high in protein and fat with little to no carbs. A meal that I've been rocking with lately is eggs and sausages. I'll have 2 pans, one for the eggs and one for the sausages. I'll cook up 4 eggs and 6 sausages, which comes out to be around 1,300 calories. And I'll tell you one of my secrets. I'm literally addicted to ketchup, so that adds on a little carbs. I talked a little bit how I cook it, but it's pretty simple. Just put 2 pans on the stove top, put the sausages in one and the eggs in the other, and then throw it onto the plate. I like to stack it up like this, make it look pretty cool. Then throw an ungodly amount of ketchup on there, which is my guilty pleasure. Starting your day off with this meal will fuel your day with energy, set you up to build lean muscle, and you won't have a midday energy crash like if you were to eat the breakfast section items. I also want to say you don't have to stick to exactly what I say. For example, if you'd rather have bacon than sausage, or a different source of protein / fat if you're vegan or vegetarian. Before we jump into the second meal, I wanted to talk about the middle time between breakfast and lunch. A good option to include here is a protein shake with some nuts. I like Brazil nuts because they're high in selenium, which boost testosterone, or a small meal with that protein shake. Also wanted to mention, if you want even more great information on lean bulking, then I highly encourage you to grab this free guide. I'll put it up in the card to help you lean bulk. Grab it if you'd like to. It's totally free, totally complimentary. Let's talk about meal 2, lunch. So if you followed the plan up until this point, you should have a good amount of protein by now. That first meal has upwards of 70 grams of protein in it, and yes, a good amount of fat will come along with it, but fat isn't all that bad for you. It's actually a great source of energy because it's higher in calories. Personally, I don't take that much caffeine anymore in the morning. I'll have the occasional tea, or actually mud water is in here. Check out my video on that. I'll link that up somewhere. I did a whole review on it, but I just wanted to include that point because I feel like a lot of people are dependent on caffeine to go through their days and just be able to function. That used to be me, but not anymore. It was difficult, but I kinda waned off of it over time. Anyway, let's get into the lunch. I like to have my meal prepped for lunch, and if you aren't already meal prepping, then this is something I'd highly consider if you struggle to make healthy food choices during the day and just end up eating out or eating some junk. When you meal prep, you save time and money. So the meal prep I usually go with when I'm lean bulking is rice, ground beef, and veggies. I like to keep it simple and not overcomplicate things here. So I'll cook a few cups of rice in the rice cooker and the beef on the stove top. Once the beef is close to done, I'll throw in the frozen veggies in with it. Then I'll meal prep for 7 days pretty much. Monday is usually when I meal prep because I don't work at my quote-unquote job. I put about 200 grams of rice into each container, which is about 666 calories. 200 to 250 grams of ground beef, which is a little over 500 calories, and then roughly 50 grams of veggies. I don't really track them too carefully because they're only 30 calories, not very calorie dense. And then I'll put about 7 eggs into the meat before it's done cooking, and then I kind of divide that between the 7 containers, which is 70 calories to 1 egg. And then I'll pour in, after everything is in the meal prep container, I'll pour in some olive olive oil, which adds on another 250 calories of good fat. This meal is pretty close to 1500 calories and a great meal for lean bulking. Comment below if you'd like to see a full video on me meal prepping this and how you can make it with me from start to finish. Then on to the third meal, dinner. Hey Derek, it's dinner time. I feel like your mom. Just kidding, that was weird. Alright, for dinner, the meal can be relatively higher in carbs if you've hit your protein goal for the day, which should be at least your body weight or a little more. At this point, maybe we just need some more calories to hit our goal for the day and not go to bed hungry. My favorite option here is pasta. Personally, pasta is my favorite food to have before bed because it puts me right to sleep after eating it. Another kind of meal prepping hack is to make the whole box or like thing of pasta, then store it away so you have some more for a few extra days. But I'll make the noodles and eat about 150 to 300 grams of pasta, which is about 500 to 1000 calories. Then I'll add on top of that, 150 grams to 250 grams of ground beef, which adds up to be around 350 to 550 calories. Let's say you do 225 grams of the pasta noodles, that's around 800 calories, and 200 grams of ground beef with some sauce. The sauce isn't very calorie dense, so let's say that's around 500 calories. That meal together is upwards of 1300 calories. But with all that said, if you're not tracking properly, it doesn't really matter how much you're eating. You're not going to see the best results if you don't know what you don't know. That's why you should check out this video next. I go into detail on how I gained just about 10 pounds in a month, and about half of that was muscle. Check out this video if you're interested in getting results like that.